Hey everybody, welcome to some bonus footage for Adventures in Old Fashions. I'm a little restless tonight, so I'm having a hard time getting settled down. I thought maybe I'd kind of share a couple of thoughts I've been having and see if that kind of helps clear my mind a little bit. I know I'm not the only one restless tonight too. There's a bull elk just across the draw here who's just going to town, just wailing away with the bugling. So he must have caught scent of something, but it's kind of fun just laying here listening to him. I know he's really close too because there's no echo at all off the wall of the valley. But just a couple of little extra things that I wanted to share with you guys. I've been thinking about. So I mentioned that we're in this kind of this rainy post-monsoon atmospheric river. Everything's been wet and drenched and everything's damp here tonight, even though it's a dry camp, which kind of sucks because that means that there's no extra water for dinner. So I just had some crackers and peanut butter, which hindsight, the peanut butter probably wasn't a great option. Neither was the crackers because they definitely made me thirsty. But I got enough water to wash them down, and I got probably about, probably not quite half a liter. So don't worry about me. It's just I wish I would have taken advantage of that rain when I had the chance. But anyway, day before yesterday, trudged along in the rain. Nobody's on the trail right now. It's too late in the season. Every once in a while I'll run into day hikers or things like that. But I happened to get passed by this bicyclist. And then I caught up to him. He had stopped to refill at this last reliable source of water, which is where I filled up to, and I'm really glad that I did. But he was on his bike, and he's biking the Colorado Trail. I want to say his name's Nate. It might be Nick. Pretty sure he's Australian, but I didn't want to ask about his accent because that's like a very American thing to do. But it's kind of funny though, because we got talking and he asked me if I was from Canada, because apparently the Wisconsin drawl or twang, as he called it, makes me sound Canadian. So I don't know what that's about, but whatever. But we were talking, and he, was going to try and do the whole trail, but his flight home leaves on Sunday, so he didn't know if he was going to make it to Durango, but he was going to try and do like 50 miles a day. But it was kind of just talking to him. I'm like, well, I'm not, I got about another 4 miles left in me, since I'm hoofing it and I'm not on the bike. And he kind of looked at me and he's like, hoofing? And I lifted my foot and I'm like, I'm on my feet. He's like, oh. So apparently they don't have that turn of phrase down under. But it's just, I don't get too many chances to talk to people on the trail because it's usually people blowing past me or going the other direction. So it was kind of nice to talk to somebody. And so, he's getting packed up, ready to leave. I'm getting, unpacked, ready to fill my water containers. And there's a couple of pine trees that provided a little bit of shelter, so we were both huddled under those. And he asked me some advice. He goes, you look like you know what you're doing. And in my mind I'm like, oh buddy, you have no idea that I am totally clueless out here. But he asked me my opinion on his bike. He had like a bag tucked under the back seat on the rear fender, and he's like, does this look waterproof to you? And I got looking at him like, well, this spot, it's beating up and running off, but this spot it's soaking in, so I don't think so. So he dug out a garbage bag that he had, and that it was his quilt was in there, so he definitely want to make sure that stayed dry. And I'm like, yeah, you want to make sure that stays dry. But then off he went, never to be seen by me again. And then the other thing I wanted to share with you guys is, there's some really kind of neat things out in the middle of nowhere that I've come across. So last night I took shelter on this Sergeant's Mesa. And today, once it stopped raining, I got back on the trail. I stopped. It's called a Soldier Stone, and it's a memorial for all the fallen soldiers in Indochina. So like Vietnam, Cambodia, and some of the marker stones there's actually, they look just like gravestones out around this monument. It's a 10-foot kind of spire that's literally in the middle of nowhere. It took me 20 minutes to find it, and I knew what I was looking for and where to look. But it's kind of nestled in with some trees. And the different markers, on the ground around it, several different languages. Some of them are memorials to specific people. Some of them have quotes and sayings. I took some pictures. It was, sorry about this light here. I'm trying to get it balanced to where you can see me, but I'm not blinding myself. But yeah, it was a very moving, kind of experience. And I took some pictures for myself to, for years down the road to kind of help me remember and appreciate. And I thought about doing a little video segment, but, it's kind of a really personal thing, and I'm going to keep that for myself. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. Chances are you will never, ever be out where I am here to see it. But just know that there are, memorials and markers out there. And for some of us, we're fortunate enough to be able to, experience them. And just wanted to share that with you guys because it was very moving, and I'm really glad I took the time out of my daylight hiking hours, and I'm glad I put the extra mileage on to take that side trip out and really hunt around to find it. It's not marked. There's no signs to tell you where to go or where to find it. But it's obviously, been visited. There's little keepsakes and little, mementos left on it, for people that have made the trip. And it's just, it was a really special, and moving little sidebar for me. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. There's other things that I've seen, that are definitely, moving and touch me. But that's something that, is out there for everybody. If you want to make the trip, I'll try and put a link in the description, once I get a chance, so you guys can kind of get a better idea what I'm talking about. But I'm going to try and, quiet my mind, and hopefully that elk doesn't keep me up all night. But I will touch base with you guys when I get back on the trail. Have a good night.